11 columnists and reporters are here. It really is an incredible turnout. It's almost like a world title fight or a cup final. So I think they've talked enough, these two, at weigh-ins, and the pre-fight chat's been good. Let's hope the fight is at least half as good. Now remember, Bugner, when he last fought here against Richard Nunn, he won in 2 minutes 14 seconds in 76, when he weighed 16.2, by the way. And now let's see if he's going to come out throwing somewhat delayed bombs in the opening round. Referee is Harry Gibbs. Oh, first punch there for Winston, anyway. Oh, I tell you, the no-hoper has been caught, has started to throw punches anyway. Doesn't seem to be too nervous at the start. I think I might be facing this big fella. Bugner's defence has not been tightened up with that rest that he's had. 3 fights in 6 years. Got hit with a few easy left hands there. But I think he's willing to take a few. He wants to put on a bit of showmanship here. I think he's got the tinsel of Hollywood still. So a minute gone then in the opening round. And Allen, although he's been defeated actually in his last 3 fights, is known to be a bit of a puncher in this weight. He beat Jean-Pierre Koopmans with a good punch, who was European champion, and indeed he fought Ali. But he's been knocked out himself by Neville Mead, the present British heavyweight champion. Oh. In the crowd, this is real pro-Bugner crowd. Oh, sorry Joe, the man's gone. I suppose that 32 pounds difference in weight noticed a bit there. Winston Allen a bit smart. I don't blame him. You see that one coming. He practically sent the telegram with that one. Trying to bang away at the body a bit, Bugner, probably to slow Winston down. Stand there a moment while I hit you, but I don't think Wilson wants to know about that too much. Certainly is a natural athlete, Bugner, always has been, was in fact a good discus thrower. But he lost a bit of timing, I think. He's a little bit of ring rust creaking there. But early doors yet, as they say. So coming up then for the countdown in the opening round. And Winston really hasn't done a bad job at all. Tony Fossey then, an old boxer from Islington, who's now taken over Joe's training, also a good matchmaker. I think the weight might have been a bit of a burden to him there in a way, Bugner. He's very big, 16 stone 8. When you think of pre-war heavyweights, very few big fellas about those days. Anyway, he got his range in the opening round. So into round 2 then. And Winston, as he promised before the fight, Winston Allen, but he won't show this big fella too much respect. Give him full marks for that. Oh, what do you know about this? Well, I tell you, Bugner saying I can't take too much of this. I've got to unload punches a little bit. A minute gone then in the second round. Let's be fair, Winston Allen's not the pushover a lot of people thought he might be. 21 fights, he's only won 12, by the way. Also been inactive for a year, so it's level on that score. Bugner sparred a lot with Jerry Cooney, but he lost his last fight in May to Ernie Shavers. He says on cuts, but I think he says a little bit of stick in that fight. And the left hand makes good connection there. He jabs hard with that Bugner when he gets back to his boxing ability. Remember, he came through the boys' club system at Bedford. Good softening up jab, no doubt about that. He's been able to take a good punch, nonetheless, Bugner's. Only been down about, what, 5 times in 63 fights. And lost 9 and drew 1 of those. 419 pro rounds this fella's had. I think a little bit of tension with Bugner's wife Marlene sitting alongside our commentary bench here. It's understandable. Well, Bugner's been a little bit guilty in the past of promising more than he really produced, and I'm wondering if that's happening here. No question of him trying to carry this fellow, by the way. He'd love to take him out if he could. Oh! A little bit of butting going on there, and referee Harry Gibbs will definitely be giving Allen a warning and said if you do it again, he'll go out, because Bugner lost his last fight, he says, with a butt from Ernie Shavers, and he doesn't want it to happen again. So round 3, and it's certainly been lively, isn't it? No question about that. And Winston Allen threatening to do a bit of damage with the head, if not with a punch. Remember, Bugner's been in with some rough fighters in his time, Frazier, and of course twice with Ali, although nobody ever considered Ali a rough fighter. He's getting a bit bad-tempered now, Bugner. Thinks this fella's taking a liberty or two. Well, let him try and do what he's promised he could try and do, and put him in his place then. It's a big pole of a left hand when Bugner uses it, but he's not using it enough. There it is, though. He hurts with that punch, and of course it's point scoring. I think he might have come in a little touch of the overconfidence early on. Now he realises he's got to get down to work a bit. Good strong referee in there, Harry Gibbs. The man who gave, of course, that controversial decision for Bugner over Henry Cooper. That's 11 years ago, but they still tend to hold it against Bugner. But he did referee Bugner and Richard Dunn anyway. Now, Bugner are making sure that Allen doesn't get in with that head there. He's just propping him up, saying, stay away, thank you. Well, Allen said he trained in London and got into good shape and wasn't looking for any excuses. Fair enough. 24, Allen, 32, Bugner. Been around so long that we always think he's older, but that's actual age. A little bit of tiredness showing, I think, with Allen, through his own exertions rather than punches he's taking. A little problem with reflex there with Bugner, I'm sure. He's missing with a few punches. Needs to settle himself in, find distance a bit. He really can't be out the ring too long in this game. And recapturing the youth is always a bit tough. Remember, he started as a pro at 17. Well, he just clipped him around the ear there. That was almost inside of the glove, but it hurt Winston Allen. Well, as he was talking to the referee there, he gave him some more stick, and I do hope that it's not going to be a disqualification finish. It would spoil a goal right on the bell, and the referee has got a count over him, although the bell has gone. And Butner, in the way that Ali stood over Sonny Liston, said, how about that? And he's going to stop the fight because he is not in a fit condition. The referee is in order to do that. It was a one-punch finish, just when it looked as though Joe was having more trouble than he could handle. And Butner looking over now to his wife and saying, what do you think of that? Cut around the left eye, that came right on that bell there with a clash of heads. And there's Allen, well, a bit of abuse in that far corner. They're taunting one another. I'm afraid it looks a little bit like wrestling, this one, doesn't it? But I assure you that they really mean it, these two, don't they? I don't remember a heavyweight fight where the loser was so disturbed. Look, he's still shouting out there to Butner, getting quite upset. And I suppose that's understandable, but there's no question about it. He did catch Butner with his head, and he did get hit on the chin. He can't argue about that. So let's have a look at the replay then, shall we, at the end of that tremendous finish. There it is now. Puffs him around the ear, isn't it, Butner, with that left hook. Now, there it is. There's a definite butt. There's no doubt about that. And the referee says, well, I mean, you know, the description's enough, isn't it? Last time he's saying, you're out. And now Butner's obviously saying to the referee, how much longer? And that right hand, that was one of the rare punches in anger that I've ever seen Joe throw.
So Butner is back, but how far can he go? His immediate concern, of course, is the cut over the left eye, which he hopes will not affect his next fight scheduled by December the 9th. But
I was rusty. The last time I was in the ring was in May, but I only sparred in June, so I was a bit disappointed with my timing. But when he started to head nut, you know, put in the nut, it's brought me back Ernie Shaver's affair, you know. And nothing is worse than to see a professional trying to win a fight by a nut, and look what happened.
Yeah, you nicked on the left eye.
Yeah, so I thought, well, if he wants to play dirty, and he walked onto that right-hander.
A lot of people say that you're best when you've got your wild up, and you certainly were there.
Well, certainly because the guy was playing unfair, you know. I don't mind being a good fighter, but when it comes to dirt, like he was doing, he's the champ. I mean, he was playing dirt, you know. We don't need that in boxing.
So it went exactly as planned. What about the future? What about the future?